Welcome back, everybody. It's been another week. It's been another game time, fantastical,
Bienvenido.
week of Xbox One. Welcome. We are the XoneBros. We are your positive gaming and Xbox One community. This is episode number 312. As always, I'm joined by Mr. McSpicy.
Howdy, how's
George
it going?
the man.
Hello.
And I am X1. We're kind of to that like pre-E3 time of year.
Pre-3?
The pre-3.
Pre-3.
Where things start to slow down and we're just waiting. And even though there's no E3 this year, there is...
Well, there is and there isn't.
Yeah, there is two conferences coming for Xbox anyways. One in June for hardware, and then July we're going to find out all of the next-gen first-party games.
The big boy.
Very, very exciting stuff. So let's actually talk next-gen real quick before we jump over to the news. Black Knight writes in.
All
and
right,
says,
already questions. Let's do this.
It says, hey, bros, what will be the first game you play on the Series X besides Halo Infinite? Oh, Jordan's got an answer already. Yes, sir. Thank you for raising your hand, by the way. That was very polite of you.
Cyberpunk.
Oh,
I know.
So wait.
Supposedly it's coming out before.
Yeah.
But
Are you
they
gonna
are.
wait? Are you going to wait for it?
No, no. But there is going to be a patch.
Oh, you're
you know, like
patch
the
that
4K
bad boy.
patch. Because I remember the Witcher patch, and it was pretty cool because you got to choose between 60 frames and or 4K or higher resolution. With the new console, supposedly that choice, we don't have to make the choice anymore. We're always going to have that high frame rate, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have that high resolution. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Very, very good. Very good. Spicy, how about yourself? First game besides Halo Infinite that you want to check out on the Series X?
Well, isn't Assassin's Creed a launch title?
Oh, yeah.
I will probably be doing that one.
Oh,
actually.
that's
Another
a
good
great
one. Yeah,
pick.
another good one.
Great
Yeah,
pick.
I think so.
Valhalla.
The last two I've really liked a lot. I think
Yeah.
they're getting just better and better. They're making it less about being an assassin and more about just doing whatever the hell you want.
More about being a wielder of death.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. You know what I'm saying?
My first pick will be the next Forza series. I am very excited to see what they can do. If you remember, Forza was it 5, but 6 really is what they showed off, and then 7 on like the Series X.
Yeah,
shines right what they're able to do with weather effects. So can you imagine? I'm just very excited to see. This is always a showcase game. It's going to be a launch title. I'm very excited to see what they're able to do. They skipped a year, which I think is good. Make sure the next one's really good. Take time off, regroup. Kind of what Assassin's Creed did that. Call of Duty did that. Wait, did Call of Duty do that? Who did that?
No,
Assassin's
Call of
Creed
Duty
did it.
definitely didn't do it.
No.
What did what?
Take a year off and then come out with the next series.
Battlefield?
Battlefield is doing it.
Yeah.
Well, they've always done it though.
And
there's
Assassin's
always
Creed
been like
started pulling
Assassin's
back.
Creed's the big one that
Yeah.
did it, and then that's when we've got the better games. So I'm really excited for Forza. I actually watched Ford vs Ferrari.
Hey, that's a great movie.
That is a good
really
one.
good.
That's
I
a
was
really great movie.
Blown away by and the Daytona when he's racing at Daytona. Miles is racing at Daytona. And he's got to win Daytona to go to the thing. I'm like, I know this track. Oh, right turn, left turn, right turn, left turn. All from Forza. I was like, oh man, and I never realized like it doesn't hit you because I'm not a big like race car enthusiast. I don't watch I don't watch the league, the NASCAR or anything, whatever.
I'm pretty
Formula
sure it's
1.
one of the most popular sporting events to watch in the world, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
As you can tell, I don't watch it. I don't even know the terminology. But
They're called cars.
yeah, cars. But
Engines.
But it got me excited for Forza watching that movie this week, and very, very excited. Excited for Forza 8. Speaking of Halo Infinite. Oh, by the way, Black Knight. Thank you very much for writing in. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that question. Games we're going to play first on the Series X. But speaking of Halo Infinite, Jordan, what are you hoping for? We know how they have this. We've talked about this before, but let's nail this down before we get to it.
Yeah.
We know that
I know
there's
exactly
going to
what
be
I'm
like a
hoping for.
social hub. We know where do you want to see, not just story-wise, but how do you want it to play? What adjustments, what evolutions need to happen to the Halo series
Yeah. Well, so
to really stand out? Because it does feel
when it comes,
it's like Halo's time has passed, right? A little bit.
well, I don't know.
Well, that's blasphemy.
No,
Yeah.
not for current fans, but I don't feel like it's grabbing new fans necessarily, right? And I feel like
Because the game hasn't come out for a while.
no, but even like a Halo 5, it's not like oh, look
Well,
at
I
this
do
just
think
dropped.
I do think they need to up the story a little bit.
Sure,
Halo
obviously.
5 story, it was good, but it wasn't great.
Sure.
Halo 4 story, it was good, but it wasn't great. If you take the trilogy arc of 1, 2, and 3, it was really good, right? I mean, I don't know. If you take Halo 1, it was good, but it wasn't great. And then Halo 2 was really good, and then Halo 3 was really good, right?
Yeah.
But
Story-wise?
story-wise, yeah.
I don't know. Well, what hooked me from the first one?
Well, you
I guess
did
it's
have
not.
that flood.
If you go back and play it, it's not modernized into what we have, kind of now.
Storytelling now.
But at the time when I played that game, I was blown away by. No game up to that point had bad guys, us fighting, and then a third party bad guy come in and just like the Triforce of bad guys.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That didn't happen to the extent that game did, and it totally caught me off guard.
Yeah, it does.
And I thought the story was really well done.
Yeah.
The level design and how you went from different biomes throughout the Halo ring, kind of. I don't know. I thought it was at the time extremely well done.
I think the entire trilogy is one good arc, right?
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3, really well done. But anyway, so I don't know. I think they just need to up the campaign. So when Halo 5 came out, like I said, the campaign's good, but it's not like, oh my gosh, that was mind blowing. You know what I mean?
Well, because it
was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, now I'll go play multiplayer.
Yeah.
So because what they in the campaign, they advertised the game, and they came out with a ton of advertisements of Master Chief's going rogue. You're gonna have to hunt him down. In the game, that kind of happened during
Sort
one
of.
cutscene, and you're like, oh, okay, well that's over.
it's kind of like Iron Man 3.
Yeah, well, and you don't even get to play during
Where you're
that cutscene. Although it was,
expecting a cool bad guy.
I will admit, it was a cool cutscene, right? Because no one messes with the chief. You know what I mean? Anyway, and then they basically, there's essentially one boss fight in the entire game, and you fight him 5 times, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a developer, but just to split things up, all you had to do is just I don't know, paint him a different color and just call it a different name.
See,
just so you don't feel like you're I just killed this guy. It's just oh my god. It was just the bot. It's just there was.
Paint him a different color.
It was just why are we fighting this guy again?
I mean, that's boss design 101.
Well, I know. It was just why is this guy still here? And then you fight him for the last time, and he's still there, and you're and yeah, there's a lore reason behind it, but it's really that's it,
Oh, I know.
we couldn't.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, you could have just taken the Scarab
See,
fight
but
and just redone
that's
that.
my
I mean,
point.
that was
I love Halo, and I really like multiplayer in Halo. I like that style. However, that's I think Halo Infinite needs to be next gen, and not just in a new story way or utilizing new graphics. I think it needs to do what, for instance, Destiny did this generation. Right, bring a new evolution to its genre and its game.
Talk about fighting the same boss over and over. That game is, I don't know any other game where I've killed the same boss as many times as I have.
Yeah, but Destiny brought this new
But you got different loot out of it.
game genre, and it's not really a new game genre, but this hybrid game genre that really took off. I feel like Halo needs something to do something like that, and I don't know. I'm not that creative.
Now-
It's not my job, but
Now, that being said about the campaign was okay, right? It's not the best in the series. It's not the worst in the series, right? So, in my opinion. But on the opposite side, the Arena Warzone, I think, was on par. I think was perfect. It was classic Halo. The maps were pretty much, they were symmetrical, power weapons in the middle, essentially, and the person who's better wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is good Halo multiplayer.
oh yeah,
right?
the multiplayer is really good.
Warzone was a cool concept, and I had nothing against it. But what I'd like to see them do in the new one is a social space. I mean, I can go either way. They're cool because you can kind of hang out with your friends and see different people. But if you think about a social space in Destiny, what really does that do for you?
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, when I go back to the tower, I immediately go to the vendor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's neither here nor there for
Give me
me.
player housing.
Player housing. See, there you go. Player housing. What I would like to see them drop Warzone and add a very well done, fleshed out Battle Royale mode.
Okay, I can see
Because I think with Halo's gameplay style, setting, and just the mechanics of Halo, I think it can be the best Battle Royale out there. And I think you drop Warzone and you go Battle Royale.
That could be cool.
In addition to also having your arena and all that. And Battle Royale can be what Warzone was. You can get all your goofy, crazy skins, that's where all those cards came from Warzone,
Spicy,
right?
you down for a Battle Royale Halo version?
Well, yeah, I think the lore, the setting, just everything about it bleeds that it would be a really good battle royale.
Yeah.
I agree with Jordan. It has potential, just the whole game and how it works.
What do you think?
To
Do
be
you
the best.
do you agree that with my assessment that I feel like Halo needs to evolve somehow here, and I don't know what with, but it needs to really kind of be pushy. That's what made Halo the reason.
Did you do that on purpose?
What?
Halo Evolve?
Oh no, I didn't. But nice, yeah. Well, that's why we love Halo. Did stuff when it first came out that nobody else was doing, right? Like
multiplayer.
LAN, Halo 2,
LAN
Halo 3,
multiplayer, four screen
co-op mission multiplayer, first-person shooter. Like one of the first games to do these things. It was evolution. It was revolutionary, right? Halo hasn't been that for a while, and that's with Halo Infinite, a new generation. I think it's an opportunity to do that. I don't know what they do, but that's that. I think it.
Well, I agree with Jordan that that Halo 1, 2, and 3, each game brought something revolutionary, right? I really do. Like the first Halo, nothing was around that did that game. Halo 2 brought about Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Remember before Halo 2, we had GameSpy.
And
That was awful.
Halo 2 had the features of like invite a friend stuff, and they had like 30-second messages, which was all incorporated to Xbox Live when the 360 came out.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? They should bring back 30-second messages.
that was really
Those were
good.
nice.
That was really good. And I think that they should bring back a cam of
Oh, yeah.
Kill cam.
Well, like because when we were playing Burnout Revenge, when you'd like win or you'd blow them up,
Paradise.
you could Burnout Paradise.
Yeah,
that's what it
yeah.
was. You could see their faces.
That was
as they
so
had
funny.
that cam. That
I
was
think
fantastic.
I think there might be a lot of lawsuits if
There-
you do that.
Yeah,
Like,
nowadays.
there probably was.
No, that's probably why it never will exist again because the world sucks. But if that was a thing, that is like awesome. I really loved when Call of Duty started doing that, where they
The talking.
where you could hear their mic for 5 seconds after you killed them,
And it was
it's
usually
always
just-
them going, "This is bullcrap." It's so great. It's so great. I think that's one of the best things you can do in a game. Yeah, but and Halo 3 introduced 4-player co-op throughout the campaign too, and other things that
and it refined that multiplayer. You know what I mean?
It was really just those up 1, 2, and 3 brought something that 4 and 5 never really did, right?
Yeah.
So I think I tend to agree with you, David.
Yeah.
But I think it has potential.
I agree. I
to
agree.
bring the heat.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying? To evolve and bring the heat.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be very exciting to see. It's going to be very exciting to see over the next couple months what we get to look forward to with next generation. Great discussion. Let's take it to the news, shall we? This is the next segment of our show. Jordan, tell us, what is happening in the world of Xbox One this week?
Oh, okay. Well, it's basically anniversary week.
It's anniversary week. Happy
So,
anniversary,
yay.
everybody.
So State of Decay is having their anniversary, and they have an anniversary patch, which gives you a lot of stuff. You get new outfits, a skin for the car or the truck. You get a bunch of new items. You get 2 swords, 2 big mallets. You get an anniversary cake.
Oh,
That
yeah,
you
okay.
can actually leave on the ground, and when the zombies come up to it, it explodes.
I like that a lot.
So-
my favorite kind of cake.
You get different weapons, and it's just a basically it's an anniversary update.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. There is a
There's a
trailer to it if
Yeah.
you wanted to watch it. Yeah, just State of Decay 2 anniversary.
I think we're
But-
almost
Oh
done
yeah,
with the
we're
story
that's
now, so
pretty much it.
I'm not
So-
going to pull it up.
Yeah,
I'll be
so
honest.
anyway. Yeah, and then the next anniversary is Overwatch.
Ooh.
So Overwatch has their anniversary going on, and again, I think they have some of the best skins. They have a really cool Ash skin.
Okay.
It's she's Red Riding Hood, and Bob is the Big Bad Wolf, which is very cool. They have a super cool Mercy skin. It's basically a dragon. She's like a dragon. She's like a dragoon from Final Fantasy.
I appreciate
armor.
that.
Like it's really really cool. They got
doesn't
new
appreciate that?
dances and all that stuff. And then all the seasonal brawls are back as well. So it's just the anniversary event. It's going on now until I believe June 9th. So you have a little while to do it. I was actually talking to Mark about this. This is where we're going to get controversial.
Oh, controversy right here.
I think
Oh, there's Red Riding Hood. That's cool.
Yeah.
I agree with Jordan.
I like
100%.
this game. I play it a lot, and because I like this game, I feel like I can say this.
Yeah.
I think Overwatch has one of the worst monetization systems in modern gaming.
Oh, really?
I would say the worst.
Really?
The worst.
It's because
in a standard. There are mobile games that I would say get up there as well.
Let's be clear.
Let's be clear. Real games. We're talking real games here.
No, the problem is these new skins. Like my favorite one is Dragoon from Mercy, which was just on screen if you saw it. Super cool skin. It's 3,000 gold. Which you're thinking, Jordan, why don't you just earn the gold? Well, it's pretty much physically impossible to earn the gold in game just by playing the game. The only way you can get that much gold in a quick amount of time before the event ends is by purchasing loot crates. And
no, you can't even purchase it. You have to purchase loot crates, and it's so slim of a chance that you're going to be able to get the skin.
So what really frustrates me about their monetizations, like loot boxes are a thing. They've almost become a I don't want to say standard, but they're a thing in gaming now, right? It's not the loot crate I necessarily hate. It's their system that I very much dislike, because it's only loot crate and I can only buy those loot crate. Well, I mean, you can earn them in game, but it's a much slower rate. They even like reduce the XP you get, so you don't get as many, because you get a loot crate every time you level up, or one loot crate if you play a healer, depending on the day or whatever, right? But anyway,
that Hammond skin,
yeah,
is
the submarine.
Cool too. Yeah,
so they got such cool skins and all this stuff, but you have to buy. So this is my problem. Getting into my problem. I spend $40 on a bunch of loot crates because, I mean, the more loot crates you have, the higher chance you have of getting the skin that you want, which in this case is the Mercy skin, right? I can open all of those loot crates and not get that skin, and I've just spent $40 on the game.
And you only get like 600
and,
gold.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have enough gold to buy it for 3,000. That's what's incredibly frustrating. So you literally have to save from here till next year's anniversary event to get the skin that you want, which by that point they'll have more skins that are really cool. I just wish they can keep the loot crates. I could care less about the loot crates. Every game can have them as long as they're always, cosmetic and stuff like that, right? But just give me the option. I don't care if you charge me $20. Just give me the option to specifically buy the item that I want.
I agree.
That's all
100%.
I'm saying. Yeah. You can charge me $40 and we'll have that discussion like, holy crap, that's overpriced. But at least I'm spending money for an object. Like
you're basically spending money to gamble that you might get.
It's like if I went to
You're buying the
it's like
right
if I
to
went
gamble.
to it's like if I went to Costco and they had the food box there, and the food box was $50. Now I need milk, but I can only buy the food box for $50. There could or could not be milk in there. You know what I mean? Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's probably a bad analogy.
No,
but that's how I feel.
It kind of makes sense,
Like
in a weird way.
Like
We
I
need
need
milk
that
to have cereal.
I need that skin, but there's a chance I can spend a lot of money and not get it.
No, it's not a chance. You are going to spend a lot of money and not get it.
Yeah.
That's
so
just how the game works.
It's a frustrating system to me.
I remember doing the math, like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. It's when all the dances came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was something like 1,000 hours of gameplay to get all the skins that they released over a 3-week period, which, if you do the math, 1,000 hours of gameplay in 3 weeks is impossible. You just can't do it. So you are forced to at least purchase loot crates if you want to get a specific skin, and you're not guaranteed to get any of those skins. Because you can get duplicates, and this is why I agree with Jordan. It's the worst system on the planet.
Wow. I'm
Anyways.
surprised. Why do you think there's not
Money.
For instance, look at EA with Star Wars. The outrage that came with that was
Money.
ginormous. Why is it not as big with Overwatch if it's so bad?
Well, Overwatch has had this system in place since they launched, right? I don't think...
But the problem with like the EA and Star Wars is it was
pay to win.
It was pay to win. It was gameplay breaking.
This is just cosmetics. Right?
Cosmetics.
So that's how they get away with it. And you can say, "Oh, Jordan, you just don't buy the cosmetic. You don't need it to make you a better player." Yeah, I get that.
But sometimes we like bling.
Yeah, but I want to look cool.
Yeah, you're preventing me from giving you money because I don't want to spend that money on a chance that I might get something that I want.
And that's why I said you can charge me $40 for that skin, whatever. But just give me the option to individually buy something.
I think if they make that move, they would make way more money.
I do too.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Way more money. I don't buy loot crates. I don't even open loot crates.
Just out of principle.
But out of principle now, because I never get what I want, and I don't like to be disappointed.
You don't like to have that dangled in front of you.
That's why I don't like the spin wheel on Forza, because it says what car I could win that I never win. And it's really, I was having a good time. I was enjoying myself. But once you wave that candy in front of my face and say, you can't have this, then I get upset.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And even if you take a game like, let's say, Apex, which I don't think has the best monetization system either, but it's better than this because at least you can go into the character menu and say, I want this skin, and you can unlock it. And then, I mean, they do have 3 different currencies, which I wish they would just simplify things. But you can unlock it individually, right? You still have to, like, you know, it's a roundabout way depending on what currency you have to use to get that currency, right? Like, you still get them from loot boxes and other stuff like that, right? But at least you can individually go in and buy instead of just buying the loot box. What makes me frustrated about this is the fact that the only way to get this gold or the skin itself is
to pay money.
Loot boxes.
And you're not guaranteed
that because, like I said,
$150 and still not get it.
Like I said, I have 1,000 gold right now. That Mercy skin costs 3,000. I can spend $40 on the game because I feel like $40 is like, hey, I like the developer, I like the game, let's support him. $40 in addition to everything I've already spent. Also, what I've spent on the game when it first came out too, right? So you spend your $40. I could not get the Mercy skin that I want, and I could only get theoretically I could get, let's say I got 700 gold. So now I'm at 1,700 gold. So yeah, I'm a little more than halfway there. I've just spent $40 and I didn't get anything I wanted. That's the frustrating
Now,
part.
see, will you ever spend money like that ever again on this game?
No, and that's my point. I'm not gonna spend $40 on this game because I don't want. It's a gamble. It's like, am I gonna get the skin? Am I not?
But if they did give you the option to buy it with $20 each, you probably would have spent $500 on this game now.
I mean, let's talk about Apex Christmas event.
Exactly. I spent $100 just so I could get the 301 carbine gun skin.
And yes, that was in loot box form. But what they did is there was only a pool of the Christmas items, so it's just the Christmas stuff. So the pool already is decreased. Shrunken. And you did not get duplicates.
Yes.
It was like, oh, I got the R301 skin. Now I'm guaranteed that, or that.
And you could spend money to buy whatever you wanted, too.
Yeah, exactly,
you
yes.
could buy anything on the list.
Now, they did make it to, like, it's a better deal if you buy the loot, but they were still, like, $20 skins. But that's what I'm saying.
Got my skin.
You can charge me $20. At least I can individually get what I want, and that's my frustration.
To be entirely fair, this game came out before Epic kind of changed things with battle passes and everything like that, right? So I have high hopes that Blizzard will change this with Overwatch 2.
Yeah. Again, my theory is that Blizzard is changing. This is an inflection point for them and changing for the better. I think they're going to regroup and give us what we want.
Well, I think Overwatch
it's a building year. Is what you're saying.
It's a building year. Yeah.
I think Overwatch is a game that's set up perfectly for battle passes.
It totally is. This is the game was what it's meant for.
Yeah, like you can give the first 10 levels as those little, I don't know, stupid sprays.
The sprays are the worst invention ever.
But in a battle pass, you're like, oh, I got a spray. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as. You know what's funny? It's all perception. I think you've said this before, David. Like perception, right? Because it's not. What is it? It's not like what they're giving you, it's how they go about giving it to you, right?
This is true. It is perception.
Anyway,
David will bring up a ex-girlfriend analogy.
Even in like a game
That's hot.
even in a game like
Overwatch is the hot girlfriend.
No, this is what Overwatch is.
Even in a game like Fortnite, you have the loot llamas, but you have the battle pass and you have the store where you can individually buy certain items, right?
Yeah. Overwatch is the girl that you're dating that is just smoking hot. And you're like, yes, I am enjoying this. And then one night, maybe you have a class, starts at 8 a.m. I know you're in college. She shows up, no makeup, and she's hideous. And you feel jobbed. You feel lied to. You feel like you were ripped off. Like, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And you didn't realize that she was wearing that much makeup or that makeup had changed her that much. That's Overwatch.
She's a trickster.
She's a trickster.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good analogy, by the way.
She's a trickster. Thank you. That true story that happened to a girl that I was standing there with my friend and we were talking like, hey, you're dating such and such, and yeah, and then my friend's like, oh yeah, she's super cute. Yeah, good job. Blah blah blah. And then she walked up and it was like, oh,
it's like a Seinfeld episode.
Ooh, it was like two. It was like whoa.
That's funny. Anyway.
Okay, so yeah, Overwatch is having an anniversary event.
And to be fair, I really do enjoy the game. I just really dislike their monetization system.
Talented makeup artist.
That is a skill set that she's really good at. That's good. Good for her.
The next game that had an anniversary this week is my favorite game of all time, and arguably, in my opinion, the greatest game ever made, and that would be The Witcher 3.
Oh.
And it actually made quite big news,
Oh.
big splash. It's 5 years old today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, they came out with this cool little 5-year anniversary music video of everybody at their house playing instruments to the sound of The Witcher.
Well, there you go. That's cool.
What a way to celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
No, if you're watching live here, you'll see the video. Everybody will pop up at their house playing instruments. But no, it's they're all playing in sync, right? It's the theme of the Witcher. It's a really good song, right? But anyway.
Can we
With
do this spicy for our 5-year?
Let's
next
we'll
anniversary?
do it.
Right there, look at that.
We'll all be
Yeah.
at our own house. Just yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
be that Led Zeppelin.
I don't
guy.
even.
Where are they getting these instruments?
I
Did you
don't
see
even.
that
I don't even need to play it. I'll just fake that I'm playing it.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
That's even easier.
You know what? Let's just
Dude,
to,
I'm
sa-
you should
thinking
be
the flute
flute
the
person.
clarinet lady.
Yeah,
to
flute.
save work. Let's just superimpose our faces over another video. Over this video right here.
Over this,
Yeah.
yes. We'll do this. Even better.
Anyway, everybody's talking about it because the game still holds up today. It really does. It's I played it this week in honor of the anniversary, and I'm going to play it some more. I'm thinking about going for all the achievements. I don't know. The game is good.
Dude,
It's-
good luck with that.
Yeah, it's a good game. Anyway, with the Xbox One X enhancements, and if you have a pretty good PC, the game still holds up graphically. Like, it's really good. It's on Game Pass. Wait, is it on Game Pass?
It is Witcher 3
Is
was
Witcher 3
on Game Pass.
Was it
I
on Game
think.
Pass? Anyway, whether it's on Game Pass or not, I'll clarify that later. This is seriously my favorite game of all time. And like I said, arguably the best game of all time.
Arguably.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played it and you're over the age of 18, play it.
Play it. It's fantastic. You know it is on Game Pass. Golf with Friends. We have a golf-
That everybody's been talking about that this week.
Everybody
Yeah.
in the community, there's like a big Golf with Friends event happening right now
Yep.
that people are doing. So that's why you should come join us on Discord. You get cool stuff like that. I don't even know this game. I need to download this game so that I can join everybody.
Yeah,
in
everybody
Golf
was
with
talking
Friends.
about it this week. It actually launched on Game Pass.
Speaking of that, too, the Golf Club, my favorite golf game that really took over from EA, is now Golf Club, or it's not even Golf Club anymore. It's 2K Golf. So it's 2K21. So the
Tukes?
Take Two. Does Take Two own 2K?
Yes.
Yes, Take Two. So we're gonna get a high-end PGA
I
game.
believe
Still
they- I
HB
believe they
Studios that is developing it. So very exciting. Congratulations to them. I think we covered that news story a while ago, but I was just reminded because you can pre-order it.
I'm actually going to say I believe they do. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But I am 100% sure now that The Witcher 3 is on Game
Oh,
Pass.
Nonprofit says we tried. Parties are down and matchmaking is broken.
Oh, that makes sense. The game just launched.
Well, there you go. That's probably why I never heard
Well,
of it.
if parties are down, that means it's an Xbox Live
Oh.
issue too.
Oh, yeah.
There's some big stuff.
Yeah, didn't
going
Xbox Live go down earlier
It
today?
did. It went down earlier today. It did.
Someone tripped over the power strip.
yeah. Someone messed up.
So-
Someone spilled
on.
their
Yeah,
coffee.
Microsoft forgot to pay that invoice
Yeah.
of the internet.
Yeah,
They
they
have
forgot
just
to pay
one
their-
T1 connection that's going in. They forgot to pay.
That's funny.
Next up.
Anyway, next, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Very cool stuff. So
Yeah, interesting. I'm reading this right
yeah,
now.
so I'm just gonna go through a couple quotes. Basically, so this is the same team that brought us Origins, right? And I actually like this. The game director, or I think it's the game director. He's one of the heads over at this studio, Ubisoft, whatever studio that they have. His name is, I don't know how to pronounce it. Ashraf Ismail.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway,
Sounds good.
that was a horrible pronunciation of his name, but anyway,
Sounds about right.
he talks about the new progression system, and basically you don't necessarily have to get violent to get things done and stuff like that, which is actually really cool. So I'm just going to talk about his quotes or what he said. He was talking to Kotaku, but he said, quote, "We have a new take on progression in this game. We have more the concept of power that is gained through, let's say, gaining skills. So basically, oh, sorry, I didn't finish it. Okay,
All right.
Awkward silence.
okay, so let me read that again. Okay, we have a new take on progression.
People are like, "Oh, my podcast just broke."
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad. We have a new take on progression in this game. We have more of a concept of power. Power is gained through, let's say, players gaining skills. With this game,
Do you want me to read it?
I know I can't read it. Players can players can explore the world and go through the world without being held back against like progression walls.
Yeah.
That's their big thing. Is they want to try.
Feels
and,
like they're saying it's opening up more to,
Yeah,
to do what you want to do.
now that being said, it doesn't necessarily.
Hold on. Doesn't every MMO do that though? like they used to, you couldn't go into certain areas. I'm thinking of like Guild Wars, where it was like a 23 to 26 power level.
Correct. They're scaling that back essentially, right? So that would be like a progression wall, is what they're saying here, right?
Okay.
So you have to do this to get here.
They're
right?
getting rid of the progression wall.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is they didn't say like they're 100% getting rid of it. They're just kind of softening it. You know what I mean? Like it's a
great
by
area.
by like getting skills. Like, oh, if you get this skill to, do this, then you can go do like, you know what I mean? So I think it's just going to be presented differently, I guess. I don't know. But basically, the idea is they want to try and scale back that progression wall. Not necessarily get rid of it is kind of what I took from this article, but just kind of scale it back so you're more open to do whatever you want as the game, as the game unfolds, right? The next one is really cool. So, this is another quote, and I'll read this one properly. Quote, same guy, quote, when you set out into the world to go wherever that is, you'll get embroiled into politics. We give you the opportunity, or you'll get embroiled into politics. So sometimes, yes, it means that you can, let's say, negotiate to resolve something.
Yeah, they're basically, it's not all kill options.
Yeah,
right?
which is like you don't necessarily have to like, oh, we can kill this king. What if we can just go into the politics system of the game and negotiate with him, right?
That's cool.
Which I think is super fascinating.
I think so too.
So, anyway, so I completely ruined that news story. But if you want to read it properly, it's just Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's what
basically
the
game is. It sounds like it's opening up a little bit and continuing on with their like political strategy that they've added to the game.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then Saints Row the Third.
I
just wanted to throw that in here because they came out with a remastered trailer that's available now. It looks like the greatest game.
None of us have played Saints Row. Don't judge us, but Jordan is hot and heavy for this game right now.
Yeah,
just based
because
off this trailer.
It essentially like, I don't know, like you start out and you're like this gang, and you're like, oh, okay, this is like a Grand Theft Auto type game, and then you have these big heads that you got in Dead Rising 3. Like those big Lego heads. Then all of a sudden you're wearing those. And then you're talking about like murdering people. And then the aircraft carriers from Captain America show up, the ones that fly, and they start doing stuff. And then you're fighting zombies, and then there's tanks on the street.
Independence Day, Will Smith's planes come in and
aliens come in. There's a chainsaw lady with curlers in her hair, like she just got out of bed, and it looks like the craziest fun time.
And we watched it before the show. I think this game looks like ball fondlers from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Like, it really does look like the most...
Oh!
I don't care what it is. It looks awesome.
And I kid you not, in the trailer, there's a part where they're on, like, a street, just Main Street, and all of a sudden, a shark comes out and eats someone.
Through the sewer.
Yeah, like, I don't know how... It's just... This game looks amazing.
There's just a lot of winning going on in this game, right?
Whoever directed this game seems like he made a lot of correct decisions.
Sounds like he's
living his life right.
Sounds like he took all his favorite movies and said, let's make a game.
Yeah. So, and I have never played a Saints Row game at all, right? So this is number 3. I've never played 1, 2, or this one, but they've remastered it.
Texas Stu Baby in chat says there's a dubstep gun in the game where you can kill people with dubstep music.
This guy definitely had a journal next to his bed while he would wake up and write his ideas.
And he'd be like, I don't know what this means. Here you go. Put it in the game.
And what he did is he just gave it to his game designers.
Like, let's make it a gun.
This picture, what does this mean?
Let's make it a gun.
Death by dubstep.
It looks amazing, and I really want to play it. So anyway, and this is just kind of improv too. I'm just going to throw this in there because we were talking about sharks. There's a new shark game that came out this week.
Man-Eater, and everybody in chat has been telling me about it. Everybody from the community has been telling me about it. I went and looked it up, and I've been watching people play. It looks awesome.
Oh, this guy was winning too.
Did this guy?
Basically, you're thinking, oh, a shark game. What do I have to do to survive? No.
Well, and then I thought, oh, Echo the dolphin. This is Echo again.
The point of this game is you are the shark.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out how to eat these people.
How to eat people. And people are hunting you. And there are other animals bigger than you. And you're trying to get, that's the protagonist right there. He's hunting you.
Wait, the antagonist or protagonist?
Sorry, antagonist.
Yeah, we're the protagonist, right?
And Scaly
It's
Pete.
all about perspective.
Scaly Pete. And your job is to go through and eat as much as you can to grow, to level up, to take on bigger sharks and stuff. Look at this. Oh, man. But go to, you can fast forward. You can like jump out of the water onto the beach and eat people on the beach. It's hilarious.
Yeah, well, this game, I think the discussion was like, guys, how do we bring awareness to ocean life cruelty or something?
Shark Week.
Yeah. Some guy raised his hand and said, why don't we just make a game?
I've been watching a lot of Shark Week.
Yeah. What if we do sharks that eat people and we throw in RPG elements? Winner. I mean, that's it. That's all they. I mean, that's because there's a little RPG to this. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wait, I want to see. I want to see him jump on the beach. Let's see. Fast forward. Let's see if we can get some little land action with the shark.
But
it's hilarious.
But it's so.
there we go.
Jet ski
yeah.
already. Watch
Get him.
Oh!
Oh, smacked him twice. He's on fire. His jet
That
ski
guy
is on fire.
Oh yeah, that guy is getting out of there.
Yeah, he's scared. Oh, here we go. Jump on the beach, man. Jump on the pier.
So Jordan, what you're thinking is this is like some PSA announcement or something?
I think so. They basically they said, guys, we need to bring up shark awareness.
We need to bring up shark
ocean awareness. I mean, this is getting ridiculous out there. The tuna and the dolphins, it's
And
crazy.
They do it through the eyes of the bully here.
Yeah. And they go, how do we raise
here we
ocean
go.
awareness?
Here we go. There's humans in the water.
Oh man.
It's coming.
Oh.
get up.
Oh!
Ooh, got him. Just chopped him.
Oh,
And
you're
look,
gonna
he's got him
pull him away?
He's got him in the water.
And he did like a death
chopped
roll.
him. He's eaten. Well done.
Well,
Level
and
up.
that's how that meeting went. Is this guy's making this game, and they go, but sharks actually don't roll like that. And you're like, hey man, you
man.
make a fun game,
Here we go.
and
This
that
is it.
raises
jump
awareness.
Out. Watch when they jump out. It's hilarious. Yes, got him. And brings him under. Dude.
But sharks really don't do that. If you want,
They don't dive on land and grab people.
Well, that's how the meeting went. The activists were like, "Sharks don't do that," and you're like, "Hey, man, if you want
If you wanna
to
make
raise awareness,
They do now.
They do now."
They do now.
Do you eventually level up to have rocket packs
Man, is
on
he
your
gonna
I
back?
hope
wait,
so.
is he gonna get
Like
this
in,
floating goose tube?
Those look like kids. Those
No,
look
no,
like little
hey,
kids.
no,
Not to the
they-
sharks.
They're not.
That's food.
They're not
Filet
barbarians.
mignon.
Those are fully grown people.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're not barbarians.
Oh,
that guy's-
that's unlucky.
So,
for that
so what
dude.
you're saying is the shark is eco-friendly because you don't want to take the offspring until they're fully grown.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got to keep the population.
There
high.
has to be standards.
Dude, look at he jumped out of the water to get that dude. This game
This game,
does look
yeah.
good.
Everybody was telling me it's actually like really fun. And look, he does like this death roll. It's almost like a Naruto fighting game with sharks.
With sharks in the water.
Yeah.
These poor people.
Anyway,
Or man-eater.
Maneater. It's
check it out.
it's out now. It's getting all the raves and
All the raves.
all the raves.
I like that the humans are so bad at swimming. I guess to a shark they are bad at swimming.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what multiverse this is in, but at this point, I actually feel like if you're watching the trailer with us live here, I
That
actually
nobody
feel
would
like
be in the water.
Yeah, I feel like these people deserve to die.
Yeah. Just casually
Because
swimming in the water at this point.
in
50
Jaws-
50 people have been eaten.
Yeah, and you're just like, he won't come for me.
It's just, it's a 1 in a million shot. 1 in a million shot.
That guy, but Jeff, that guy just died over there. Don't worry about it.
And there's no
We're
I didn't even know that guy.
we're in a swan floaty. We're
there's
good.
no guns on the beach.
Yeah.
Nobody's here shooting the guns.
Now, what the expansion is going to be is militarizing the ocean, like in Aquaman. There's going to be
Sharks,
like a war
the
against the
expansion
sharks,
will be sharks with rockets.
or like in Austin Powers, sharks with lasers on their head.
Yeah,
You remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Anyway, that's a really cool game. Warzone got a new patch this week. It comes with 2 new maps, one for gunfight, one for multiplayer. They did make a few changes in Warzone. We won't go through everything, but the biggest thing they added is they added an armor box, which is available via loot on the ground, and it's purchasable at buy stations. What the armor box does is it resupplies the entire team's armor.
Boom,
So
there you
it's
go.
very well worth it. Which is really cool. So again, you can buy it from the shop or you can find it on the ground. That's the big thing with Warzone. And then, like I said, they did add 2 new maps:
Boom, baby.
a gunfight map called Isle 9, and then a multiplayer map called Hard Hat, which is pretty cool. And then they updated the playlist as well. Anthem.
It's coming back.
Redesign. They talked about that. One of the
BioWare talked about
Oh, sorry. BioWare talked about that. Yeah, one of the lead developer was asked questions about what they're doing with it. And basically what it sounds like is they have 30 developers are now working to identify where Anthem fell short. So basically what was wrong with it, how can we fix it, and then they will be making those adjustments as needed. Now, they did, in this article that I read, refer to it as Anthem Next, as the developer called it, and he did say that it's not going to be here for a while.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it sounds like they're just doing a full rework,
ground
or
up.
whether they call it Anthem Next or Anthem 2 or whatever. I think that what they're working on now is probably just going to be a whole new experience.
So
right?
let me ask,
you know what I mean?
So let me ask you this: where, for both of you, let's start with Spicy. Actually, where did Anthem ultimately fall short? What do they need to do to revamp this? Because we enjoyed playing as in the mech suits, right? The Iron Man suits. That was fun. The gameplay was fun. The feel of it was good.
Top notch.
But where did they ultimately fall short for you, Spicy?
Well, I think with everybody's complaint
yeah.
was just endgame wasn't there. And I think they promised a lot of endgame and it just didn't exist, right? So
Yeah. How about Jordan? How about as far as characters working together? Because it didn't feel like you really had differentials in characters that used the Holy Trinity or just the teamwork that they advertised.
Yeah, no. So I enjoyed playing the game. At a certain point, you're kind of like, okay, I'm done. Because you finished it. They did have the feel like the javelins and flying. I mean, that's one of the coolest things.
Cool.
Even level design in the open world was really
remember
cool because it's
were
very vertical, right? Going through water, up to caves, everything, right? That being said, so when you got into dungeons, which I think are the bread and butter of a lot of these games, dungeons, raids, stuff like that, right? It didn't feel like your class had an identity in those situations. Like, yes, they had different abilities and stuff like that, but the tank didn't feel
tanky.
Like what they should do, and I think this is what all games should do. I think even Destiny should explore this, right? They're set up a little differently though, but actually no, they're not. I think Destiny should explore this, and they have in some of their stuff, right? But I think they should make the bosses have class specific mechanics, and what I mean by that is you see this a lot in like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, but like, hey, the tank needs to do this during this section of the fight or else we wipe, right? The DPS need to stand in this corner because this crap is going to be on the floor over here. The healers need to like burst heal through this phase and then don't worry about healing us through. You know what I mean? Obviously that's a lot more work and a lot more thought, but if you have a boss ability where like, hey, only the tank javelin can take this because he has an ability that prevents that from happening, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, there's raids that I've been in World of Warcraft where if the tank doesn't tank a certain ability, it's a one shot to anybody else because the tank has that ability to negate that, right?
Sure.
Or if the healer doesn't put a certain thing on the tank at that time, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do more stuff like that, right? Now, like I said, I understand that that's harder, and that's obviously a lot more time and effort goes into that and a lot of thinking, but those are some of the best raids dungeons out there, right?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Like, we're watching gameplay right now. The game it has the cool factor. Even knowing that it doesn't live up to some of the hype or the expectations that a lot of people had for Endgame. Look how cool that is. That it still has the cool factor. So if they can tweak it, revamp it, bring it back, this really could be a powerhouse game. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah. Well, and again with your dungeons,
Great game potential. I mean,
yeah, and again with like your dungeons and stuff, don't be afraid to just throw stuff in there. Like for example, in World of Warcraft, there's a dungeon where we're going to fight, or there's a raid where we're going to fight dragons. But before we get there, we had to fight like 3 stone dwarfs, a worm, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just 3. I mean, you're in a world where you're not tied down to anything. You can just throw stuff in there.
Yeah.
Now, I think Destiny's raids are fun because they're really mechanic heavy. There's some mechanics where it's like, hey, having the Titan's bubble would be super effective right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they do a good job like that. But even Destiny, if you take like a Taken King raid, which I think is one of my favorites from the first one, all those jumping platforms, having half your team go into the nether or whatever they called it, and having half the team stay out. I mean, just mechanically based fights like that are really good. Whereas I feel like, yes, they did have certain mechanics of dodging missiles and stuff like that. They're not really super mechanic heavy.
Strategic heavy.
There you go, yeah. So, but anyway, I would like to see more class-based stuff in the fact that, like, hey, the tank has to tank this guy, right?
Yeah.
That's why he's the tank.
Yeah. Well, and Anthem. That's very exciting. That's coming back. That actually...
Maybe. In years.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that they're working on it anyways because it still has the cool factor. Look at that.
It really does.
It's super awesome.
Well, yeah. A lot of potential.
I'm gonna say it, man. There's nothing wrong with the Trinity. Right?
No, I agree.
They call it the Holy Trinity. There's nothing wrong with it.
Formula works because what kind of turned us off initially when we had completed ESO and we were going to do dungeons is that it did. There are different builds now, and people like have those builds down and stuff. But they kind of were going away from classes. Even same with Guild Wars. Guild Wars 2. And so you didn't. It was like these hybrid classes. But I think just knowing a specific role is, which you get with the hybrid classes now. But Guild just not as clean cut.
Guild Wars at the time, I don't know about it now because I haven't played the latest expansions. Didn't have like they were like, no, we don't want to do a tank healer DPS. And you're like, okay, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you know, even if you take ESO though, you still when you queue into stuff, you still have to queue as a tank healer or DPS. What ESO does, which I think is a better way to do it, is they still have the Trinity, but your class that you can play can be all three of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you want to play a Dragon Knight tank, you can. If you want to play a Dragon Knight healer, you can. Now, that being said, the Dragon Knight healer is probably not as strong as the the Templar healer or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's min-maxing there, but at least they have the tank healer DPS. You know, people have their roles. It's maybe not as like defined as other games like in World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, but I think ESO at least has it there, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So whereas like a Guild Wars doesn't, and you know,
yeah.
I mean, when you add that in, the gameplay mechanics instantly become more diverse.
Exactly.
You're not all doing the same thing. You all have different focuses, and that's what makes it fun. I want to play a DPS. I want to play a tank. I want to play support this time, right? And so it changes your whole view on any battle, and that's kind of the appeal, and that's why it works. It's really effective and it's really enjoyable because you can change up what you're going to do whenever you choose to play each individual style or character.
Well, even
right?
if you take a game like we were just talking about it earlier, Overwatch, they have the Trinity, tank, healer, DPS, and as you play as those classes, like if I play as a support, my job is to heal and support the team, right?
It changes the
that's
gameplay.
my focus. I mean, obviously it's objective based, right? But my focus is that within the objective, right?
Yeah.
DPS is damage, tank is obviously protecting your team. But anyway, it's just I think in games like this,
it would work really well.
it does. It does work really well. It's been proven to work really well, right?
Yeah.
Great discussion. That brings us to the last segment of our show. This is the segment where we take your questions. To submit a question, you can do so each and every single week over on Patreon, patreon.com/positive gaming or XoneBros.com/support. Our first question comes from the man Scott Mathot. He says, "Hey bros, looking into getting a new 4K TV for the game room. Wondering if you think 120 frames per second is worth the additional cost of a new TV in relation to how many Series X games will actually run at that FPS." Let's start with Mr. McSpicy on this one. Do you think that Scott should upgrade to the 120 frames per second television or hold off on that for now? Maybe wait a couple years when more games are taking advantage of it and probably becomes more common space.
Even early
TV.
next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what are your thoughts, Spicy?
I actually would get a monitor instead.
There you go.
If you have a headset, I would do that. TVs are going to be way more expensive with that kind of capability because it's those high frame rates are kind of newish to those to TVs
TV,
right now.
yeah.
But for monitors, that's been around for several years now. So
It's cheaper, you get more bang for your buck, plus more features too.
yes. So and you can get like I think that monitor I have over there is 165 hertz. Or up to 100, you know, and I think that was only $150.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Right? So I would recommend going a monitor route for now. Let TVs catch up. Let the research and development department get those costs down. On TV production. But I think it's really cool that we're going to start to get those kind of high frame rates in our consoles and in our gameplay as a standard without the high cost of having a high-end PC, right? So real exciting to have that, but I would wait on TVs. If you want it right out of the gate, I would get a monitor, personally.
There you go. Great question. Thank you very much Scott, for writing in. Travis Walker writes in and says, "Hi, bros. My question," he says, "I've been enjoying the game of the month lately, which is Hotline Miami, everybody. I think that less than 10 hours to complete is the sweet spot. What do you think about Lizard Cube's Streets of Rage 4 or their previous remake? A selfless request of mine, my favorite Sega Master System game of all time, Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap, as a future game of the month." Oh, maybe. I don't know I didn't have a Sega Master System. I don't know Wonder Boy's Dragon Trap. Does anyone know Wonder Boy's Dragon Trap?
I don't know that either.
We'll check it out, Travis. Absolutely. I've played Streets of Rage 4. I know Jordan Mann has played Streets of Rage 4
Yes.
as well. I like it. I think the appeal to that game is if you played the past Streets of Rage or Double Dragon type of games, right? I do think the boss fights start out initially kind of boring, and then they start to ramp up the more you play them. Like, you start to get different mechanics, and they become more challenging and stuff. It really is a flash to the past, right? I feel like if you've never played a Streets of Rage game or a Double Dragon game, check it out. See if it's for you. It might not be for you, but I liked it. But I also really enjoy like
Has a lot of nostalgia.
Double
appeal.
Dragon and Streets of Rage. So I feel like for me, it's a nostalgia thing more than anything. Jordan, how about yourself? Streets of Rage 4.
No, I really liked it. I thought it was fun.
All right,
There you go.
back to you,
Yeah.
David. What else do you have to say?
I mean, it's a fun fighter game.
It's fun, simple. I'll tell you where it shines when you play with another person.
Yeah, no, it's definitely better played co-op.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love your face, David. We don't have it on camera because I went to Jordan tight, but you were kind of annoyed that that's what he said. You're like, okay.
Well, no, I mean it's not
The hell?
like it's it's an
Why don't you answer like
it's
more than yes, I liked it?
it's an arcade game that was an older arcade game that's been remastered and ported to the console, right? So it's not. I mean, it's literally a side-scrolling fighter beat 'em up game, and it's fun. Like, I mean, there's not an intense RPG system or anything. I mean, it's just a
respect
fun.
Jordan a lot.
It's a fun game.
There you go.
If you know those English teachers when you were growing up in high school,
Like
and junior
20-page
high,
paper.
and you can say it in 3 paragraphs, that's Jordan. Jordan's the guy that probably failed English because he was just like, well, this is what happened in the story. What more do you want?
There you go. No, there you go, Travis Walker. Great question. Thank you very much. And we'll definitely check out Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap. Very interesting. Devout Cannon writes in, and he says, this question comes from a conversation with Ronan. Oh, no.
Ronan.
Bone and Ronan. Okay, this question comes from a conversation Ronan and I were having about how we would love to have a game that had the setting and premise of DayZ, but the polish and gameplay of Division 2.
Oh yeah.
So I thought this would be fun. What 2 games would you like to take the best of and meld together into its own great game? Devout Cannon. That's a good question.
So basically, we just want a game we like that's polished.
Yeah.
Basically,
right?
I mean, of like two styles. Can I start?
Yeah.
I will tell you what I would like. I would like the space simulation of an Elite Dangerous with the strategy of a Stellaris.
That's a hard one to combine
Yeah, I
because
don't know how you
Stellaris
do
is
that.
very macro.
Oh, yeah.
And Elite Dangerous is very micro.
Yeah. See? Take both of those, combine them together, you get the world's best space simulator flying game of
it'd
all
be-
time.
And
Micro.
political space simulator.
Political, yeah. See, well, that's because Elite Dangerous kind of has that. Like you like do these quests, then you like affect the politics of the universe, but not real. Like it's not like what you do with Stellaris. I want Stellaris in a Elite Dangerous.
I would argue that Elite Dangerous has that because of the community. Like, because do you recall that Elite Dangerous members, like people that play that game, they will sit next to star zones, just people that are just playing the game, and wait for people that need help, that run out of gas, and they will go give them gas so they can make it to different places. Like, there are people in that game community that are that nice and just want to patrol a certain area where they've played the game long enough to know if they come to this area, they're probably going to run out of gas, and then they give them that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So I think pulling the Elite Dangerous mask back, you have the community that is, they're
True, but not. I want it in.
You want those people to die.
I want it in like I can do it in a single player, in depth 4X strategy way.
Chat's talking about EVE Online. Which
No,
is
it's not
actually-
EVE Online. No, it's EVE Online is like MMO, more MMO. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it's kind of EVE Online, but I don't want the MMO.
EVE Online does
aspect.
have that insane economy.
Dude, the economy. Okay, here we go. And I want the economy from EVE Online.
Yeah, geez,
Here we go.
That's a game.
The ever-changing economy from EVE Online. You know how many times I've tried to get into EVE Online, and it's like, is it a requirement? Is it like in the letters of confederation of all space games, whether it's Elite Dangerous or EVE Online or even No Man's Sky, that everything be complicated as hell just to jump into it. That you've got to watch 5 hours of videos.
No, EVE Online
before you can even play the game.
EVE Online is very similar to becoming a medical doctor. You have to do you have to do 8 years of study, and then you got
4 years of residency,
and then you got to jump in and still not know what you're doing really, but you kind of have like a basic understanding of how. Like EVE Online is insane.
I actually think who's probably trying to do it is Star Citizen. Yeah, there you go. AOG War Dog just said it. Yeah, I probably think it's probably closer to what Star Citizen's trying to do.
But I mean, if you never are going to release your game, then we can all do that.
Yeah, in theory. Like,
I mean, I can tell you guys, hey, I've been working on this game similar to Star Citizen. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when it's ready.
In between strip joint
in between
trips.
That was so funny. But that's the thing. Like Star Citizen, it looks like an amazing game, and it really does. But is it attainable? Is it going to come out? Is it going to? I mean, yeah, they come out with updates, and hey, we're still working on it, but that doesn't really.
Anyway, there's my combination of games. Spicy. I see that something clicked in your head.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot. I was thinking pretty hard because, I mean, when we first started the show years ago, Battle Royale was not a thing.
Sure.
I mean, it was in the Arma 2 days. Yeah. And me and Jordan would play that quite a bit. And that game, you have to, with Arma, you have to figure out how to. Okay, I need to
everything.
Reload this by going like this.
It was a simulator battle royale.
It was a simulator, yeah. And I remember saying on the show how nice it would be to have a battle royale come to consoles in a mainstream way, sure. Polished and everything. So that reminded me of that. But I really want. Do you know how cool it would be to have like CD Projekt Red or a Rockstar develop a Spider-Man game that's open world? And like not just like open world, but in the setting of Grand Theft Auto, where you have to walk around and then you have to go into alley and change and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just like a real Rockstar level Grand Theft Auto Spider-Man game.
So not like the PlayStation Spider-Man game when you are just Spider-Man
swinging through the city and stuff
during his thing. Because you want to play Peter Parker. You want a story to unfold. And you'd have two stories that you'd be balancing too, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
this living world around you.
Because we have it's open, all the Spider-Man games, and there's been some great ones you play. It's pretty generic when you go to like the main floor and you do the same stupid quest where you save the lady from the burning car, or and the world doesn't seem alive. Yeah. But you get like a CD Projekt Red or a Rockstar, the two that I think do the best open world games, and you put that on a skin of do even a Wolverine. Have a Wolverine as your main protagonist.
Dude.
Well, I mean, if you put those two behind it, you could really do anything.
You know what I mean? That would be an extremely fun game for me to play.
That would be cool. If you check Grand Theft Auto mods, maybe there's a Spider-Man mod.
that would be great.
Maybe in the RP servers.
Yeah.
Now, because remember, it was free on Epic Game Store. You could be Peter Parker.
Yeah, an RP.
Let's set up our own RP. And it'll be
superheroes,
a multiverse.
No, just like that level of detail and have it be a serious. Maybe it has to be a DC game then. Maybe like a Batman or like that for it to be that serious. But
that would be cool.
Yeah, Jordan. I don't know. That would be really fun to have a game like that.
Jordan.
Yeah.
How about you? Two game genres, two types of games that you want to see melded together.
Oh man,
to a sweet hybrid.
That's a really good question.
I think I said a while back I'd love like first person shooters and MMOs to get together. And I mean, we basically have Destiny and others. I mean, that's becoming a reality.
Would you be mad if Halo Infinite became that?
Yes.
I think for me it would depend.
If it was good.
Yeah, depend what you did. If it's not a Destiny clone.
Well,
it would have to be its own thing. It would have to maintain. It's a really hard balancing act because they have to maintain a Halo feel.
Well,
with this new MMO thing.
It wouldn't make sense with like the lore.
Why not?
Well, because I mean, just like, now you can shoot stuff out of your hand because of this Covenant guy over here. Like the Warlock shoots stuff, or now you can make a
No, but you don't have to do that. It's just what I'm saying is you have this MMO Destiny style game, but in the Halo.
I think in that type of game,
your different classes are like your Soldier version 1, Soldier version 2, Soldier version 3.
No, I think in
different armors, different armors you put on.
Mjolnir of armor version 3, A57-9.
I think,
that A7-9 class is a really good class to play. You should do it.
yeah,
Dude,
that
he
was
unlocked
fun.
it. He unlocked it.
That's basically Anthem. Like you unlock your javelins.
What's your armor level? Like
Yeah,
levels
no.
and stuff?
I think in a game like that, you'd have to do it as a separate game mode. Because, like, how would you continue the story with it? You know what I mean? Like, storytelling is different within a single player, even a 2 to 4 player co-op, as it is to, like, a MMO, right?
Here we go. What if Halo Infinite is what Spicy was saying? Grand Theft Auto in the Haloverse.
Yeah.
Dude,
That would be... There you go. I think I changed
that's
my
John.
answer.
He's lucky.
I think I changed my answer. I would like that.
In the Halo.
The flood comes in some point in the story.
A Halo
or
MMO.
something.
How would
You've got
you
to
do
suit
that?
up.
How would you do that? That my brain can't think that
Dude,
hard.
How cool would that be? Like,
The flood actually comes and they start a civilization over there across the border, and you have to go talk to like the goblin vendor of the flood. That'll be 5 pennies.
No, you could do that. I think you'd have to have it as a separate thing, though, right?
dude, I think it'd be cool. Start from when he's in his training. You've got to live all that through. Maybe you have some decisions that you have to make. Maybe you play as...
But then you'd mess up the lore.
Yeah, that's what's so hard about
Yeah.
this. Like,
It'd have to be a side thing
do an Arcana check.
off on its own. Off by itself. You know what I mean? Like, have it as a separate game mode.
Dude, I think that would be cool. Basically, if you take any game...
That super soldier's a wizard.
Think about this. If you take any game, just take any game and Grand Theft Auto it. Take The Witcher and throw it in a Grand Theft Auto verse.
Well, The Witcher basically is.
No, but not. But it's not. But it's not. I'm talking about with perpetual Grand Theft Auto Online. Like you can open a broth. You can open a Gwent card trading shop.
Oh, I see
in
what
the
you're
game.
saying.
Yeah. Casinos, Gwent tournaments, the whole shot. Dude, yeah.
Witcher was fantastic.
Witcher Online. Why isn't that a thing? Yeah, Cyberpunk is going to have that, right? Is they're going to have it online?
Well, I think they said something about having like a multiplayer.
But that's coming later.
And
Separate.
they weren't really excited about it when they were talking about it. So I don't know if they're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
we've got to say this because our investors want us to say this, but we're not going to do it.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, we'll basically string you along for a year and then just Diablo it. Basically like, oh, it's not that great. We're not going to really do it anymore.
Actually, there is no PvP. Just so you know.
We tried it, but it's just too hard to do.
Which I don't really think that was the case. I think they could have done it, but they didn't.
Those liars.
Yeah. Well, so they do have PvP in Diablo 3. It was basically like, hey, we tried to make it cool, but it's not. So here it is.
I'm about to blow your mind.
Uh-oh.
About to blow your mind. Speaking of like combining stuff with Grand Theft Auto style, right? Civilization 6. Grand Theft Auto style.
I think Civilization 6,
Dude.
like, I think Grand
What?
Theft Auto is
Yes.
within
See,
Civilization
I just
6.
blew your mind. So, picture this. Picture this.
What? How do you do that?
That's
Start
that's
out
insane.
with a settlement. Grand Theft Auto settlement, right? You got,
Liberty
like,
City.
Liberty City, perhaps, but it's, huts and stuff. You've got to make decisions just in 3D Grand Theft Auto mode, and it's like first person or third person shooting
like,
and stuff.
Spore.
It's kind of like Spore, yeah. Then you're
But how would you...
over time.
Do you know how long even a macro version of that game lasts?
Oh yeah, this would be cool.
How would you do it when you were doing a
Would it
micro
still be-
version where you're in the world?
Would it still be
Dude, it'd way
turn-based?
cool.
There's barbarians over there.
No, it's real time.
Well, isn't this Total War? I think you're talking about Total War.
And
but
Spore.
but in Total War, your civilization that you built doesn't change over time. Like you get to
In
you
Spore
get
it
to go.
does.
Spore. What was the game? Remember that game? It was like God mode game,
Age-
black and white. Remember that game? That was a good game.
Age
You
of
were basically like
Empires?
that. Kind of,
But
no.
Grand Theft
Grand
Auto
Theft.
style.
Here's-
You have to
here you
go-
Age of Empires in Grand Theft.
Hey, what
Auto
about
world.
this? Hey, what about this? Hold on. You have me. Hold on. You have me thinking about something. So, what if you took Age of Empires?
Okay.
So imagine this. This is kind of a few things combined. So you guys remember the Commander mode in Battlefield 4?
Yes.
Where you could.
When you did it when you were on the toilet?
Yeah, and you're like, oh yeah, guys, go
Hey,
over
go
there.
ahead and have this package.
Now, what about this? What if you implemented that into a game like StarCraft?
Okay.
But check this out. So there's a commander who does all the clicks and tells people where to go, but then all your troops are real players. Like, hey, you guys, like, basically he forces you where to go, and you have to actually do the combat, like duck,
Wasn't
dive,
there an
dodge.
80s movie that did this?
So like,
Maybe. But I mean that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so Mark would be like, "All right, troops, go over here and fight the Zerg," and like you're automatically running over there, and you're like, "Oh man, I gotta get ready."
Your job is just to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, not die.
I'm getting some Ender's Game vibes.
And
out
maybe
of this.
maybe there can be mechanics where like I'm not going over there, and you try to run away, but he keeps like picking you up and dragging you back over.
doing his pinch on his phone.
You're like,
You're like, oh dang it, he found me.
tangling.
You're like that SCV that's like hiding behind the crystals.
I hope the boss upstairs doesn't see me.
Yeah.
Great question. Thank you very much, Devout Cannon, for writing in. Ralph Wiggum writes in and says, "Hey bros, with all these remasters and remakes coming out recently, do you think we'll get another big wave of remasters with the new generation in front of us? If yes, which one would you remake and remaster? I think remake and remasters are here forever.
Yeah.
I just think there's a market for it. I think if you do it right, I think Final Fantasy VII has shown us like this next level. I think the Resident Evils have shown us this next level of doing these type of remakes, remasters. I think Halo Master Chief Collection did a really good job of it. So really anything. Is there anything in... I mean, and we know all games are going to be... A lot of these games are going to have patches that upgrade you to new visuals. So in that respect, most games are going to be remastered, quote unquote. So you really have to go back in time for remastered games. I think the one that everybody says all the time, everywhere, is Final Fantasy VII Remake, the Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, that'd be
really
fantastic.
good.
Yeah, that'd be excellent.
really
Like, and so when I say Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's like give it new, because you can't just enhance the visuals. Like I want a whole new
Well, even
feel to the game.
if you just made that game modern, like with modern visuals and stuff,
yeah,
and honestly, you can just make a Knights of the Old Republic 3, and I'd buy that.
yeah. So I think that one would do good. So that would be my answer, Ralph Wiggum.
I agree with that. I would be Knights of the Old Republic remastered.
I would say the Warriors from the OG Xbox.
You've said that
I
before.
think you can really make that
Yeah.
an outstanding game.
Has there been a game as decision? What's the last really decision-heavy game where it changes the outcome?
Like, what do you mean? Like
Like a Knights of the Old Republic, where you're really in this.
I would say Witcher. Are you saying?
Oh
think of
yeah,
Witcher?
that's true. I guess that's true. That's
The greatest
But
game
I mean,
ever
like
made.
BioWare.
Yeah, are you talking about the greatest game ever
Never
played?
mind. Never mind. You're right. Foolish.
The golf game from the
Foolish
Disney
fool.
movie.
Dude, I like that movie.
It's a great
It was
movie.
the greatest game ever
Shia
played.
LaBeouf.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Sometimes you get tears just thinking about how he's living his dream as a golf player. As an amateur playing in the big leagues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
We got a question from Matt Balsey. He writes in and says, "Good evening, bros." Good evening, Matt Balsey. He says, "As someone who's really competitive, how would you suggest dealing with gaming rage?" He says, "I absolutely hate losing.
Yeah.
For example, some buddies and I were playing Warzone, and I just get so frustrated whenever I die. And as soon as David said it on his Instagram, as David said it on his Instagram, gaming is supposed to be fun and not rage-inducing. Keep up the good work, Matt Balsey." I'll start with a suggestion, and then Jordan, and then Spicy. I don't take most games competitive. Madden is my only game that I really take competitive, and that is the game that I do get mad at because you're competitive. So I think it's just learning to take a step back and say, "Oh, this is just for fun." Like it's nice to win, but I'm not trying to be the best at it, right? Whereas Madden, I mean, for instance, I've started doing my practices and my dailies on Madden 20, so that when Madden 21 comes out, I can go for the top 5% this time, right? But as a result, it does get frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you just got to pick one game. That would be my answer. Everything else, you got to force yourself to not care. Doesn't mean you can't have fun, but you just can't care. Jordan.
Yeah, no, it's hard because there's that appeal behind the competitive, like, oh, I'm climbing the ladder. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Last night, really frustrated with Apex.
I was there.
Was it hit generation? Well, that was patched.
It was a lot of things, really. Just things weren't going our way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But then, you know what? It's like falling off the horse.
Get
You
back
just
up
get
on
back up on it. You may have to get on it like 8 times in a row. But
Why do we fall, Bruce?
yeah, that's what every time I get shot in the back. That's
I hate-
exactly what I think.
hate getting shot in the back of all places.
When it's like it's hard. Like, let's take Apex for example, right? I'm really enjoying that game. I really like what they're doing with season 5, but it's the nature of the game. Like sometimes you get pinched, right? which means, two players are pinching you. You're in the middle, right? You're the bologna to their bread, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's not a good feeling. And it hurts because you're focusing one team and this other team's shooting you in the back, and that's where the frustration in that game comes, right? Because it's just like, what can I do? What this and that. But anyway,
and when you're playing public matches and you have we were playing together, but we had a third party that wasn't with us, and when they go rogue, it's really hard.
We had that game won.
We won the game. We had it won.
It was literally won.
I mean, I was the gas dude.
Caustic.
I was caustic. Gas everywhere
in the building. We were in the middle of the circle.
The circle was there high. We had the high ground.
The other two teams were
goes
fighting
rogue,
each other, and it's
I'm
like,
like,
where are you going?
What's going on? Yeah, there's 3 teams left. The other 2 teams are fighting each other. They have to come to us, but he goes rogue and goes there. And then so it's like, do we follow? And we tried to, and then Jordan gets shot in the back, and then I'm stuck in between.
Yeah, it's just.
And now they have all the benefits of our positioning before.
Yeah.
Well,
anyways, yeah.
And even Mark can probably knows this, but I've been playing Hearthstone competitively
I saw you playing the other day.
Yeah, this season, this month, right? And that game, I mean, when all you need is literally one card to win the game, and they give you the 5 crappiest cards over the next 5 turns, and you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that game's funny.
You literally
so
how is it's just I actually had the thought in my head how is it physically possible that every card I'm getting literally does nothing to help me right now?
Yeah.
It's just
so I've had some. It's both sides.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Winning and losing, but I have to with that game. I have to think. There are times the game just wants me to lose.
There really is,
because there will be 15 good cards and 1 bad card, and you pull the bad card and you lose. And the odds of that. But I had a game. This is a bomb warrior, and how a bomb warrior works is throughout the game you put bombs into their deck, and when they draw it, they take 5 damage. Right? I had put 7 bombs in this hunter's.
And you never drew it?
No. So no. This is. I would, if I was the other guy, I would have uninstalled. It was.
Really?
That was on the. Yeah. He had me beat, and he had 35 cards.
Sure.
But I had my 7 bombs, and he pulled 7 bombs in a row and died, and I was like, the odds of that happening. It was pretty.
You should have went to Vegas, man.
I know, but then for the next 3 years I've lost.
so
Karma.
Just burned it all up.
They had it registered somewhere that had to do.
it's really hard. I guess my only advice would just maybe change up the game.
Yeah.
Because I like playing competitive games because they're fun. You get that vibe of I'm climbing the ladder. This is great. But it's hard.
Yeah. Spicy.
So I do a thing, and a lot of people make fun of me or praise me, either way, for it. But I have what's called spicy walks.
He does this.
I get mad at games quite often, and you'll hear it they'll laugh because they've heard it many times.
Well, we're on it. Mark,
You'll hear crumple of the headset.
Where'd he go? I think he went on a walk.
And I just take a walk. You just get up, put the controller down. You don't throw it down, even though you want to. You don't smash it into the TV. You do not smash it into the wall. You just put it down. Go for a stroll. Go outside. Take a breath of air. Go get a drink of water, milk, orange juice, whatever you want. Give it a good couple minutes. Come back. You'll be right as rain.
Yeah.
You'll be right as
Go
rain.
breathe the fresh air outside. Just go stand outside.
Just take a walk. Think of your favorite episode from the animated series of Spider-Man. And you go, yeah, that was a good show. That was good. Oh, yeah, let's go play games again. Stuff like that. Just take a spicy walk.
Yeah, I agree. Great question. Matt Ballsy. Thank you very much for writing in. Next question comes from Ashton. Ashton writes in and says, hey, guys. How are each of you feeling about the current state of streaming? Twitch, Mixer, Facebook gaming, etc. Do you think the viewership base has peaked and the market has become saturated, or that there's still room for growth and improvement? Would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks. Let's start with Spicy on this one, and then we'll come back down this way. Spicy, Jordan, and then I'll finish off.
So you mentioned viewership, right? Or the current state.
So let's take it.
There's two sides of the coin here.
Let's take it question by question. Current state of viewership. Current state of streaming. And then do you think viewership has peaked and the market has become saturated?
I do not think viewership has peaked. I still think we're still kind of in the infancy of viewership as far as what's possible as far as live streaming. I think that's the future. I think it's just going to go up from there. As soon as people figure out that you can interact with the entertainment once they're introduced to it, I think it's just going to continually grow. So viewership, no, I think that's going to continue, growing and growing and growing. And I believe that is going to overtake traditional broadcast, personally. I really do. I think it's the future of entertainment broadcast. So,
the big question now.
Yeah.
So, how is the current state of streaming?
The current state of actually streaming.
Can I say I disagree so that we don't have to repeat ourselves? I agree with Spicy. Jordan, I'm sure, feels the same way. We're at the beginning, and anyone can see it, right? Like, we are 1920s Hollywood.
Yeah, it's the beginning of streaming. Now, or the beginning of viewership of streaming, I think it's the future. Now, being a streamer is very appealing. It's absolutely appealing. And whenever you have something that's wanted, it's something that can potentially make you a lot of money, and it's a very exciting thing, and there's a lot of appeal, you're going to have competition regardless of what it is. And with that, you're going to have things are going to get saturated. It's going to become pretty cutthroat, etc. That's just how the world works. When you have a position that's very desirable, people are going to want that position, right? So that's just the nature of it. Streaming right now is extremely saturated because of that reason. Because it's very desirable to have that, and it's cutthroat. You see people that are really good at it. You see people that aren't so good at it that are successful, and maybe I see that. I see a lot of streamers that are very popular, but I think there's better streamers out there. But they had the first mover advantage. They already built up their own audience. They put in a lot of work, and before everyone else knew about it, and they're in their positions now. I think it's very hard to get into. I think it's very saturated. We can talk about strategies to go around that. David would probably be way better at strategies on how to float above the rest. I have my own strategies that I think would work really well, and you need but that's just how my brain works. I would like to be. I'm a content creator. That's what I do, and I would like it to look I would like it to just look really good, but. I agree. It's very saturated simply because it's very, very popular and very desirable to be in those streaming positions. Is there more to this question than?
So what about state of streaming? Like, are we at a good place with streaming? Have we declined? Okay. Where do you see streaming overall?
So streaming overall, there hasn't been a lot of options and competition. Twitch, I was watching streaming when it was Justin TV, and they were pretty much the only game in town. They were really small. Even back then. You had some others, but it's until they moved over to the gaming era, industry and called themselves Twitch at that point. When it was Justin, it was just random people listening to music. It wasn't at all a gaming product.
Yeah.
Once they moved to Twitch or changed their name to Twitch and removed all those channels, IRL channels, which is funny, they've brought those back now.
Yeah.
That's
the number one. It's the number one growth right now on Twitch, not on Mixer, it's still big growth on Mixer. But number one growth channel on Twitch is IRL.
Yeah, which is interesting because that's what Justin TV was.
Yeah.
But once that started happening, and then the influx of everything, Twitch was really the only game in town. And when Amazon purchased them, it made Twitch become a viable source of income for a lot of people. Before, it was more of a hobby. That Twitch move with Amazon purchasing them and making changes to the service, because the service was terrible. It was actually awful. Streamers couldn't stream. There was disconnects. You had bitrate issues, all this stuff. I don't want to go into the whole history. I always have a problem with talking too much. But they were the only game in town. Now we have streaming services like Mixer coming in, and we have YouTube live streaming coming in, and we have Facebook, trying to take some dents into the market.
Facebook, yeah, there's a bunch of other ones too.
Yeah. You have these guys coming in. Competition is very good. The problem is, I was even watching a Shroud stream, and Shroud was talking about Mixer being the better product overall.
Yeah.
He just flat out says, and he streams on Mixer now,
Yeah.
so take that with a grain of salt. He might be biased because that's his platform, but Shroud is not. If you watch him for at any amount of time, he's a very down to earth, says it as his kind of person.
No, I saw that he made very good points.
Yeah, he basically said Mixer is the better product than comparative to Twitch, just with how everything was.
Yeah.
But he finds it fascinating that people won't even switch to watch his channel because Twitch went down. The whole why this went down is Twitch went down. It crashed. The whole service crashed.
Tripped over the power strip.
Yeah, somebody tripped over the power strip for like 4 hours. And he was fascinated by the fact that people know where he is, yet because it's on a different URL, they're too lazy to switch over. And
Well, I think, and it's more than that because I think the majority is not PC-based watchers, but it's probably mobile. So it's a new app that you have to download, and just taking the time to search
to
for
do
the
that,
app.
it's interesting. So to get back into the state of streaming, I think it's going in the right direction with different services coming in. But the king of kings right now with streaming, Twitch, I actually think Twitch needs to make a few mistakes, and then you'll have a lot of competition jumping in, right? And they're actually making several mistakes all the time.
Some big ones that happened this week that a lot of people are angry.
But
about.
it's what really the Twitch name is streaming at this point. I think the competition, these businesses, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, they can see that this is the future of broadcast. They can actually see it. And that's why they're putting so much money into this. And even pulling Ninja and pulling Shroud and pulling other Facebook, Facebook's pulling people and they're making deals and everything.
YouTube signed exclusive deals with people as well, just for streaming.
Just for streaming. I think that's very healthy for the market. A lot of streamers have been very upset because they can't do anything. I mean, you have this powerhouse. When you have a monopoly, it hurts everybody else, right? So I think the future looks bright. We're getting past the initial, I wouldn't call it dark ages, but the initial powerhouse of what Twitch is. And I think just a couple more mistakes and you're going to have a lot more of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Just healthiness to the market.
Open it up. Yeah.
Open it up a little bit.
And I think there needs to be some innovation in it as well.
Okay, yeah, fair
That
enough.
will
Yeah.
happen. But Jordan,
Anyways, that was really
no,
long.
that was good.
Sorry.
Those are good. Jordan, how about you? Thoughts, opinions?
No, I agree. I
You agree with that guy?
Yeah, yeah. That was
It's
really
a
good, yeah.
complicated
It really
market.
is. Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I agree with Spicy on the saturation. I mean, anyone with eyes can see how saturated it is. I think there are apparent flaws with streaming that are coming out, and not streaming. Well, with streaming as well, but not just streaming, but with the streaming platforms. In that, when you're not streaming, you're not making money, right? Like that's
Yes.
was it Mark Cuban that came out and said being a streamer is the worst investment that you can make right now. These even a Ninja or a Doc and the big streamers are streaming 16 hours a day. What billionaire is doing that? What millionaire is doing that?
And to that point, you see what YouTube's potential could be with that. I think YouTube has the potential to be the greatest streaming platform out there because it's integrated to have videos on demand with YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, like residual videos that people can watch.
Yeah.
They're in a position, if they don't screw it up, to dominate, which
Yeah, so
they're back. They've screwed up a lot. So I don't know. Whatever, you know.
They're
Anyways,
yeah.
on top of that, I have with my job, I was part of discussions and advertising campaigns to streamers, to content creators, and the big secret is this: when streaming, big streamers with big followings get a lot of money for advertising. The return on that investment is next to zero. There is a streamer who everyone knows who advertised for. Anyways, there was an advertising arrangement made. He was paid for this, advertised during stream. I, as an individual, got more people than he got during his stream. And the reason is because when he advertised that, number one, it's one time, it's live, If you're not there live, if you're not interested in that product when you're there live watching, even if this person has 200,000 viewers, that advertising dollar it's almost worthless. Second of all, links and stuff are in descriptions, they're in links, they're in chat. How often have you ever clicked on a link in chat while you're watching?
You never do, because
you never do.
It's the Wild West. You don't know where it's going to take you.
It's the Wild West. How often do you scroll down to click on something? Sometimes if you really want to support the streamer. Sometimes. But very rarely. Now you take those same advertising dollars and you put them towards 2 or 3 YouTubers, and the return on your investment is 1,000-fold because it's evergreen content. Same thing with a podcast. It's evergreen content. It's much more personalized audiences that you can. Twitch, no, there is no statistics that says, here is my audience, the majority of people that watch me. They just don't exist. Those analytics don't exist, right? Analytics exist like that for podcast. Analytics exist like that for YouTube. They might exist on Facebook. Facebook might be the place that changes that because Facebook knows everything about everybody on its platform, right?
Yeah, they do.
But that's flawed in streaming. The other thing, like Spicy was talking about, is there's no searchability. And I'll give you an example here. If you start out today, let's say you're the 1 millionth streamer on Mixer. 5 years from now, for the average person, 9 times out of 10, 5 years from now, let's say they now have 10 million streamers. You will still be 1 million out of 10 million. I'll give you a prime example. We have had lots of success on Mixer. We have grown. When we first started, we were 500th, ranked 500
out of all the streamers.
All the streamers, right?
Yeah.
How long have we been there? 3 years?
Yeah, I think
3 years?
think so.
Right?
Yeah,
We've seen lots of growth. We've had days where we've had 500 plus followers. As of today, 2020, we are ranked, wait for it, 500 on Mixer. There is just no, we've had this growth because we've risen with the ship. That is the flaw of streaming in its current state. I think we're going to see innovations. Twitch is adding, like, you have channel trailers now, stuff like that. I don't think that's the answer, but I think that's a step in the right direction. I think YouTube is if I were to start today as a streamer, I would stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just think they're set up. Or Mix. And thing with Mixer is Mixer's going to be built into this. A lot of people give Mixer a hard time, and I completely disagree with the analysis almost every single time, because people look at Mixer as this standalone product competing with Twitch, and I don't think Microsoft sees it that way. I think Microsoft sees Mixer as a part of the Xbox experience, right? Like, it's all going to be this one place stop for gaming entertainment. You've got Game Pass, you've got Mixer, it's all built into the Xbox ecosystem. That's, I think, their long-term plan with Mixer. Nobody ever talks about that. It's just this direct, like, well, look at how much viewers Mixer has to Twitch, and then it's aggregate viewers. It's not broken down. But ironically, Mixer has almost as much streamers as Twitch. So that's a long-term. Eventually, those streamers are going to become followers instead of streamers, right? It's just it's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can dive into. For example, Twitch has a big problem with bots and view bots, and for example, you can get a view just by embedding the stream into a page.
A 1 pixel
embed. And
you don't even know it's on the website.
When the remember I talked about Shroud, and he was talking about how Twitch went down and that whole stuff. When it went down, one of the top streamers still had 31,000 viewers that would be impossible to have. So one of the top streamers had 31K that shouldn't exist, but that tells you that there are 31,000 bots.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
So what happens? So what people used to do on Twitch, and I don't know, I don't think you can do that anymore, but like you could embed it. Then this is just to use an example on a website like Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And every single hit on that website is a viewer, right? Like at the time that you're streaming.
It's really
it's a double-edged sword because Twitch needs that for advertising dollars.
Exactly. So that's why it's like a conflict of interest, because they're saying we have these many views, you advertise on this is how many impressions you're going to get, et cetera. But are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like a lot of things. And I would with YouTube, we mentioned that YouTube could possibly be the best platform to start.
Yeah.
And what was it? They changed their algorithm like 2 years ago, and it just broke a lot of content creators. Just completely broke them because their whole algorithm changed, and that's why I think YouTube needs to. they have issues that they got to figure out too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So-
it's all new. Even YouTube's new, right? Like this is all new. And I would like to make a clarification. I'm not saying that you should not stream.
Yes,
At all. What
correct.
I'm illustrating here, if you want to stream on Twitch, absolutely stream on Twitch. What I am saying is be smart about it and recognize that if you are starting and you're the 1 millionth person to stream on Twitch, you've got to do something to drive viewers to your stream, and it's not going to be by streaming 8 hours a day on Twitch, because Twitch is not searchable, Mixer's not searchable, even YouTube streaming is not searchable. How are you driving an audience to your stream? That's the big question. You solve that question, you're
a millionaire.
You become a
Yeah.
a big boy. A lot of it's honestly right now the solution is creating content elsewhere. I.e., we do a podcast. A lot of viewers from the podcast come to our stream, right? Like that's the strategy right now in 2020 that works. Outside of that, the platforms themselves, and Twitch has started to mess with throwing random people. It's not based on numbers, and I don't like that solution either. I find it invasive and confusing.
I agree. And they've changed it to where before it would be sorted by default from the most viewers to the least amount of viewers,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Now it's like
Random. You don't know.
Yeah, it's like, where am I at?
which hurts the big boys, and it hurts a lot. It helps.
Yeah,
it's just a weird sword to
Yeah, that's not the solution either. Whoever figures, I'm sure that Twitch clearly recognizes it. Mixer clearly recognizes it. Mixer as well is if you notice, they're featuring different streamers all the time on the front page randomly. Twitch has done that for a while, but that's also not the solution.
and then you have the big channels. We have them come in
channel one.
Channel one. That's what its whole purpose is to
Yeah.
try to get different
Yeah.
viewership onto different people, right?
Yeah, and so it's going to be interesting. It's going to evolve. We're at the beginning. Streaming as it is in 20, I said this about gaming. In the next 5 years, streaming will look different than it looks today. And not just from there's going to be different platforms, but there's going to be changes in just how it works overall.
Yeah,
So,
that's a really good question, by the way.
yeah, really good question.
And a real complicated question, obviously, since we went on forever about it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, great question. One day we could sit down and just do a podcast on that and talk about our experiences, because honestly, if you want to do a stream, start streaming, because the best way to learn is by doing. And if you're not doing, you're honestly not learning. So
Yeah, and talk to yourself a lot.
talk.
Just
yourself a
yeah,
lot.
well, that's what we do now.
Yeah.
I find myself playing games and going, I wonder what would happen if I would walk this way.
Yeah. There you go.
Just talk to yourself. Say what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you start streaming, you're gonna be talking to yourself into an empty room for a long time. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to do it, go for it, because it's hard work. But
Yeah, I have one more thing to say. Non-Prophetic brought this up in chat. He says, so you're saying I need to grow a personality and get eyes on me via YouTube or something? As of 2020, yes. And you don't even have to do YouTube. You can do Facebook is a great option. Twitter is, if you've got a good way to grow on Twitter, I think Instagram is actually secretly a powerhouse in that respect. TikTok is huge right now. There are some streamers that have blown up just from TikTok. And TikTok, if you get one viral video or one good video, you can have 1 million followers overnight. Like TikTok is insane. Snapchat, there's just so many opportunities to grow. Podcasting, I think Spicy said this a couple of podcasts ago. Podcasting is still one of the best ways to grow an audience.
yeah,
So there you go. I've started a couple podcasts for my job, and each one of them has grown month over month, right? And that's no advertising. That's just sitting down and doing it. I mean, getting your SEO correct, but
yeah.
anyways, sorry. There we go. Done with that question. Thank you very much, Ashton. That is a great question. That was a long one. So let's. We got one more question left. Let's do it. But Blake writes in. Barber Blake. He says Minecraft Dungeons is almost upon us. Oh,
Tuesday.
Oh. How excited are each of you to play it? Who of you is going to stream it? We're probably. Oh, actually, we talked about this before the show.
Yeah,
we're all
we
gonna
actually
stream
just
it.
planned a thing. We're gonna
Yeah.
play together.
We're gonna play together
On Tuesday.
Minecraft Dungeons.
Tuesday, all of us will be streaming that basically
Yeah,
through, I think, the eyes of Jordan, maybe.
I think through the eyes of Jordan.
Through the eyes of Jordan.
Yeah,
I-
whichever one. I mean, we all have the capability.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
whichever one you want to do.
Jordan has upgraded his internet, so
I do.
it's
I have.
blazing.
I did.
He's
It
blazing
looks
fast.
great.
Looks
you
fantastic.
look great, Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Blake also says, I'd like to make a suggestion if I could. Game Club is awesome. I'd like to hear you guys talk about the month's game at the end of the month, like a full-on review of the game and your experience. Having the discussion in Discord is nice, but a full-fledged segment on the podcast would be
not a
great.
bad idea.
What do you think about that? I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I actually,
Last podcast of the
fun
month or
fact,
something?
I actually meant to do that last month because we've had that suggestion multiple times, and I just forgot.
I think we talked about it
We're
a
just
little
not
bit.
professional.
I think we talked about it a little bit. We talked about the
just
stupid
terrible.
levels.
Yeah, that's right.
The worm.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but no, I think that's a great suggestion, great idea. Barbara Blake, on that note, everybody, Hotline Miami is our game of the month in the Game Club. We have Game Club over on Discord. Come join us, XoneBros.com, Discord. Check it out. And join us.
Yeah.
Join us in the Game Club.
Are you gonna do this one?
No.
Okay.
No. And that actually does us. That does us for this week, everybody. Any closing words, Spicy? Closing.
Hey everybody, let's have some good week playing games, right?
Oh, I like that.
Memorial
A
Day
little pep
weekend.
talk.
Yeah.
It is Memorial Day.
Memorial
In
Day weekend.
America.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Here, I don't know where you guys are at, but where we're at, everything's opening up, and it's weird. Not that I don't like it. I'm like, yes, people, but it's like, oh my goodness, this place is packed right now. Like where I work.
Yeah,
so
it's
many
actually
people
like-
there. And I'm like, oh, now I can't find a parking spot. Go home.
You know what's funny is during
Traffic used to be
during
That's bad.
during the quarantine, I found myself like liking people more.
Yeah.
And now that we're slowly getting back
One
to
day-
normal, I
one
find
day-
myself hating people.
One day
more.
in, and I hate people again.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
I used to love having no one on the freeway.
yeah.
It was the best.
yeah. Dude, now it's
Now
packed.
it's traffic.
Like today, and I don't know what happened because here where we're at, we've been open for a week and a half. It's like slowly, it's like in phases.
It wasn't even a nice day today.
Yeah, I don't understand. And all week it's been like kind of trickling in, and then today it was just like, boom.
I mean,
And
I
it
guess
was
it's
jam.
Oh, you know why? I think I know why.
Memorial Day. Or?
Well, there's that, but a lot of last days of school were today, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was a lot of teenagers that I saw.
Yeah,
out
but
there.
the thing is,
who
like,
I hate even more.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
hey,
Just
I
kidding.
finally
love
did.
you,
I
teenagers.
hate
On the show, we love teenagers.
I finally stepped up, guys.
Off the show, we just bash them. No, just kidding.
I finally stepped up
Yeah.
and I told the people cutting through my yard to stop cutting through my yard.
Oh, what'd you say to them?
I said, "Hey, can you guys go around next time?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, man."
Were you on a rocking chair polishing your
Thanks.
shotgun
No, I was putting like
in your overalls?
I was putting grass seed down, and they walked across the grass, and I was like, "Hey guys."
They do it while you're there?
Well, I was like in the back, and they came on the side, so they didn't see
Oh.
me. But when they walked through, I was like, "Hey guys, can you just walk around next time? We're putting down grass seed." So
You know what you need?
an
Like
electric
a-
fence.
No, like a little fence.
Did
like-
you know?
Oh,
You need
Sorry.
a shotgun.
Yes, no, sorry. No, we were actually gonna do this because I don't care, right? Did you know it's cheaper to put up a barbed wire fence than it is a chain link fence?
Well, yeah, because it's ugly.
Yeah, the only problem is the city doesn't allow barbed wire on residential property. Yeah,
Oh,
so
wait,
I
are you
couldn't.
sure they don't- What about like?
Yeah, I was
see-
like, that's fantastic. It's
Wait,
cheap
I-
and it keeps people out.
because so we live in. There's a lot of horses and farms around us, and they have barbed wire.
So
I don't think I can have a 6 foot fence.
But-
I don't know.
but those are farmland. Those
Yeah,
are
it was
considered,
different, yeah.
They're
Oh,
zoned
it's different.
differently.
Oh, okay.
What we need to do is just rent a backhoe for a day and make a big like moat
Oh,
with
yeah.
like
Yeah, just-
spears.
Nothing illegal
Sticking
against.
out?
Nothing in city code against
Yeah,
that.
and then when they say that's dangerous, you're like, they start, is that a weapon? No, it's a tree trunk.
Just like all those trees you cut down, just sharpen the edges of the sticks.
Like on
Cross 'em.
Braveheart.
Yes,
when they
exactly.
bring them all up.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just it's a huge pet peeve of mine because it's just I feel like it's lack of respect.
Yeah, no,
And
it
the
is.
thing is, it's like 13 feet. Like guys, I paid for the sidewalk for a reason with my tax dollars. Use it. Like
have
go
you ever-
around.
Defense Trader just had an awesome gift. You ever seen the movie Gran Torino?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
You are.
And you go like, no, I was really nice to them. I said, "Hey guys, I just put down grass seed. Can you please walk around next time?" And they were very nice too. But the thing is why do I have to say that? Like,
Because I've seen your grass. I'd probably not think if your grass was nice, people would.
No, it's
when
still-
your grass becomes nice.
That
no,
was so passive aggressive.
no, but it's not Jordan. No, Jordan bought his house from people who had just let the grass go, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like full of weeds. Jordan's restoring that. As soon as it's restored, people will naturally not do
but
it. I bet
it's
you.
even not. No, it's just it's just that they do it because they do it to the night. The lady across the street from me.
Oh, do they? Yeah,
Very
no,
nice
it's
yard, right? They
Dude.
cut across hers just to bypass the 10
No.
feet of going. It's just
You need a fence.
the thing, yeah, no, and that's what'll
It's
do
just
it, right?
teenagers.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Just lack of respect.
what are you doing?
I don't get no respect.
Yeah, it's just like,
Hey,
why?
Can we get that as a quote, Rodney Dangerfield? I can't get no respect.
I get no respect, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Very good.
yeah.
Like you're telling
I have a
me,
pen.
you're telling me that your life sucks so bad
Oh man, whoa.
that you
Here
have
comes
to
the
cut
passion.
that you have to cut through the corner of my yard when you couldn't have just taken the extra 2 feet to go around the sidewalk.
Maybe
you know
their
what I
life
mean?
is really good, and that's why they cut through the corner of your yard. Why
No,
does
I
that-
think
why does that suck?
No, I think it's the other way around. Like,
Yeah, because I have
Like-
I used to have teenagers come and vape from they ditch high school. There's a high school
Yeah.
real close to us. They'd come and vape, and I called the high school. Do you know what their solution was? I was like, I think these
They're like,
guys
"Turn
are
on your
ditching."
sprinklers.
They said, just turn on your sprinklers. And that's actually
That's
not.
funny.
no, I should. Yeah, but it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no,
Like
that is
what-
that is
like-
rude. That is rude.
Like, it's like I never did that growing up.
Yeah, no, that is rude. Yeah,
Like, I cut through the desert,
yeah, that's true. We lived in.
Well,
the
you
desert.
had,
but
a,
that's
you had
that's
yeah,
that's
your place. You
That's
had,
my land. You know what I mean? That's whoever conquers that land.
Yeah,
That's free
whoever-
game.
That's free game out
Right?
there.
Victorville was a very awesome place in the fact that you couldn't build around certain trees.
Oh yeah,
So you had like wide areas all over the place.
just desert.
Just desert, yeah.
So it just anyway, it just like it just blows my mind. Like what, you literally saved 2 feet. Like it's just
I think.
And what really bothers me is one time I was mowing my lawn and the kid
You
cut
got him
right.
going. We
Yeah,
got him going.
Well,
I was mowing my lawn and the kid just cut right by me.
I think Jordan has actually matured because this is how you hit a certain age. What is it, like 31? How old are you?
20. I don't know.
Maybe it's going on
28?
You hit a certain age where you just get mad at the whippersnappers.
Yeah,
like-
you're just like,
Yeah. I think, Jordan, you've hit that. You've actually hit that spot where now you're going to be like on your rocking chair.
yeah, with a shotgun.
Yeah.
It's just
You
it
young
bothers me.
whippersnappers have no
Well, tune
respect.
in-
Because that's literally what you said. They got no respect.
Tune in next
Yeah.
week and we'll hail Jordan's rant on the teenagers in his neighborhood. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Again, don't forget, head over to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe to us there. It really helps the show. Leave us a 5-star review. I think we actually average a 5-star review. So thank you very much, everybody, for that. We appreciate it. Thank you for being you. We hope you're safe out there. We hope you're healthy. Tuesday, I think, is it Tuesday? We're doing Minecraft
Yes.
Dungeons over on Discord, so come join us. Mixer.com/X1Bros. Not on Discord. We're doing it on Mixer. Although we could do it on Discord now.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.
And 3, 2, 1.
Oh, man, I thought I timed it.